Let us begin by understanding that these four elements, your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money, are not separate entities, but rather interconnected aspects of your consciousness. They are the pillars upon which the temple of your life is built. And just as a maestro conducts an orchestra, you have the power to conduct these elements of your life with grace, precision, and purpose. First, let us consider the mouth. Your words are not mere sounds that dissipate into the air. They are living, breathing manifestations of your inner world. Every word you speak is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Consider carefully, my dear friends, what kind of harvest you wish to reap. For as surely as night follows day, your words will return to you, manifested in the physical world. When you speak, you are engaging in a divine act of creation. You are, in essence, speaking your world into existence. This is not mere metaphor, but the very principle upon which our reality is constructed. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. You, my dear friends, are that God in human form, and your words carry the same creative power. Consider for a moment the words you use in your daily life. Are they words of lack or abundance, of fear or love, of limitation or infinite possibility? I urge you to become acutely aware of your verbal expressions. Listen to yourself as you speak. Are your words aligned with your desires, with the life you wish to create? If you find yourself habitually speaking of problems, of difficulties, of things you do not want, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of your divine nature, of your power to create. Then, consciously choose words that reflect the reality you wish to experience. Speak of abundance, of joy, of love, of success, not as distant possibilities, but as present facts. Remember, my dear friends, that your subconscious mind does not discriminate between what you want and what you do not want. It simply accepts what you repeatedly tell it through your words and feelings. Therefore, frame your speech always in the positive. Instead of saying, I don't want to be poor, say, I am abundantly prosperous. Instead of, I hope I don't fail, say, I succeed in all my endeavors. This control of the mouth is not about suppressing your true feelings or denying your current circumstances. It is about consciously choosing to align your speech with your desired reality. It is about speaking from the end, from the state of wish fulfilled, rather than from the limited perspective of your current situation. As you master this control of your mouth, you will find that your mind naturally begins to follow suit. For the mind and the mouth are intimately connected, each influencing and reinforcing the other. Your thoughts become your words, and your words in turn shape your thoughts. It is a divine dance, a cosmic interplay that you have the power to direct. Now let us turn our attention to the mind. Your mind, my dear friends, is the most powerful tool in the universe. It is the workshop wherein you fashion the template of your life. Every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter is first conceived in the realm of your mind. The control of your mind begins with the recognition of its true nature. Your mind is not confined to the physical brain. It extends far beyond the boundaries of your skull, encompassing all of creation. In truth, there is only one mind, the universal mind, and your individual mind is but a center of awareness within this infinite sea of consciousness. With this understanding, you begin to grasp the enormity of your power. Your thoughts are not private affairs, locked away in the recesses of your brain. They are living, vibrating energies that go forth into the universe, attracting and creating in accordance with their nature. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not poetic language, but a statement of cosmic law. To control your mind is to become the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. It is to take conscious charge of the creative process that is constantly unfolding in your life. But how does one achieve this control? It begins with awareness. Become the observer of your thoughts. Watch them as they arise without judgment, without attachment. As you cultivate this awareness, you will begin to notice patterns in your thinking. You may discover habitual thoughts of lack, of unworthiness, of fear. Do not be discouraged by these discoveries. They are not indictments of your character, but opportunities for transformation. For in becoming aware of these thought patterns, you gain the power to change them. The key to transforming your thoughts lies in your power of assumption. Whatever you assume to be true, your subconscious mind accepts as fact and proceeds to bring into your experience. Therefore, assume only the best for yourself and others. Assume that you are worthy, that you are loved, that you are abundantly prosperous. Assume that the universe is friendly, that life is on your side. This assumption is not a mere intellectual exercise. It must be felt, embraced with every level of your being, for your subconscious mind is moved not by idle fancy, but by the depth of your feeling. Whatever you feel is true, whatever you accept as real in the depth of your being, must inevitably express itself in your outer world. As you assume these states, these new patterns of thought, you may encounter resistance from your old habitual thinking. This is natural. The mind, like any muscle, requires training to develop new strengths. Be patient with yourself. Persist in your new assumptions. For remember, my dear friends, persistence is the secret. What you persist in assuming, despite all evidence to the contrary, will inevitably harden into fact. In this process of controlling your mind, imagination plays a crucial role. Your imagination is the gateway between the visible and the invisible, between the world of effects and the world of causes. It is through your imagination that you can enter into the state of your wish fulfilled, experiencing now what you desire to experience in the future. Use your imagination deliberately, consciously. Before you sleep each night, enter into a state of deep relaxation. Then, with your inner eye, see yourself as you wish to be. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment of your desire already accomplished. Fall asleep in this state, allowing your subconscious mind to work throughout the night, aligning all the forces necessary to bring your assumption into physical reality. As you master this control of your mind, you will find that your mood naturally elevates. For mood is but the emotional atmosphere created by your dominant thoughts and beliefs. And here we come to the third element of our discussion, the control of your mood. Your mood, my dear friends, is not at the mercy of external circumstances. It is not determined by what happens to you, but by your interpretation of what happens. And this interpretation is entirely within your control. You have the power to choose your mood regardless of external conditions. This may seem a bold claim, especially when faced with challenging circumstances, but I assure you it is the truth. Your mood is a choice, a decision you make moment by moment, and it is one of the most powerful decisions you can make, for your mood colors your entire experience of life. Consider for a moment the last time you were in a jovial mood. Did not the world seem brighter? Did not even mundane tasks take on a sense of joy? Conversely, think of a time when you were in a foul mood. Did not even pleasant circumstances seem tainted? This is the power of mood. It is the lens through which you perceive and interact with the world. To control your mood is to take charge of this lens. It is to consciously choose the emotional state from which you will approach life. And the most effective way to do this is through the power of feeling. For feeling is the secret, the key that unlocks the door to all creation. When you wish to shift your mood, do not struggle against your current emotional state. Instead, ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? What would be my mood if I were already the person I wish to be? Then, with all the intensity you can muster, feel that feeling. Let it permeate every cell of your body. This is not mere positive thinking or emotional suppression. It is a fundamental shift in your state of being. It is stepping into the skin of your ideal self, assuming the mood that naturally accompanies the fulfillment of your desires. As you persist in this feeling, you will find your mood shifting, aligning with your assumed state. Remember, my dear friends, that your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience. Therefore, as you assume the mood of your wish fulfilled, your subconscious accepts this as reality and begins to rearrange your outer world to match this inner state. This control of mood is particularly powerful when dealing with challenging circumstances. When faced with seeming adversity, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself of your divine nature, of your power to choose your response. Then, consciously choose a mood of confidence, of assurance, of knowing that all is working out for your highest good. As you practice this control of mood, you may find that certain people, places, or activities naturally elevate your emotional state. Seek these out. Surround yourself with those who inspire and uplift you. Engage in activities that bring you joy and peace, for your environment plays a significant role in shaping your mood. However, do not become dependent on external factors to maintain your desired mood. The ultimate goal is to cultivate an inner state of joy and peace that is unshakable, regardless of external circumstances. This comes through consistent practice, through repeatedly choosing your desired mood, until it becomes your natural state of being. As you master the control of your mouth, mind, and mood, you will find that control of your money naturally follows. For money, my dear friends, is but a symbol, a representation of the energy exchange in our physical world. And like all things in our universe, it responds to the law of assumption. Your financial situation is not determined by external economic conditions, by your background, or by chance. It is a direct reflection of your consciousness about money, your beliefs about wealth, your feelings about abundance, your assumptions about your worthiness to receive. All these form the template upon which your financial reality is built. To control your money, therefore, is to control your consciousness about money. It begins with examining your current beliefs about wealth. What did you learn about money in your childhood? What assumptions do you hold about rich people? About your own ability to create wealth? Bring these beliefs to the surface of your awareness, for only then can you begin to change them. Many people unknowingly harbor negative beliefs about money. They may believe that money is the root of all evil, that wealth only comes through struggle, or that they are somehow unworthy of abundance. If you find such beliefs within yourself, do not judge them. Simply recognize them for what they are, limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. Once you have identified these limiting beliefs, you can begin to replace them with empowering ones. Assume that money is a natural and good part of life. Assume that wealth flows to you easily and abundantly. Assume that you are worthy of all the abundance the universe has to offer. Remember, my dear friends, that the universe is limitless abundance. There is no scarcity in the mind of God. Therefore, as you align your consciousness with this truth, as you assume a state of abundance, you have opened yourself to the infinite flow of universal supply. This assumption of wealth must be more than a mere intellectual exercise. It must be felt, embraced with every fiber of your being. Feel the joy of abundance. Feel the security of financial freedom. Feel the excitement of being able to bless others with your wealth. For it is your feeling that gives life to your assumption, that impresses it upon your subconscious mind. As you cultivate this feeling of wealth, you may find that opportunities for increasing your financial abundance begin to present themselves. A new job offer may come your way. A business idea may spark in your mind. An unexpected windfall may occur. These are not coincidences, but the natural result of your shift in consciousness. However, do not become fixated on the particular means by which your wealth will come. Your job is not to figure out how your assumption will be realized, but simply to persist in the assumption. The universe has infinite channels through which it can deliver your good to you. Trust in this infinite intelligence to bring about the fulfillment of your desire in ways that may surpass your current imagination. In this process of controlling your money, gratitude plays a crucial role. Be thankful for the abundance you already have, no matter how small it may seem. For gratitude is the attitude that brings more to be grateful for. It aligns you with the frequency of abundance, opening you to receive even greater good. Moreover, cultivate a consciousness of giving. For giving and receiving are but two aspects of the same divine flow. As you give freely and joyously, you affirm your trust in the abundance of the universe. You demonstrate your faith that as you give, so shall you receive. This attitude of generous giving opens the floodgates of universal supply. Remember, my dear friends, that money is energy. It responds to your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions about it. Therefore, treat money with respect. Appreciate it when it comes into your life. Use it wisely and for the highest good. As you do so, you become a good steward of wealth, and the universe entrusts you with even greater abundance. As you practice these principles, as you learn to control your mouth, mind, mood, and mind mood, for these four elements are not isolated aspects of your existence, but interconnected facets of your being. As you master one, you inevitably influence the others. Your controlled speech leads to controlled thoughts, which create an elevated mood, which in turn attracts greater abundance. This abundance then reinforces your positive speech and thoughts, creating an upward spiral of ever-increasing joy, peace, and prosperity. But remember, my dear friends, that this control is not about rigid discipline or forced positivity. It is about aligning yourself with your true nature, with the divine power that resides within you. It is about becoming a conscious co-creator with the universe, deliberately shaping your reality through the power of your assumption. This journey of control is not always easy. There will be times when old habits resurface, when doubts creep in, when external circumstances seem to contradict your assumptions. In these moments, don't despair. Do not judge yourself harshly. Simply recognize these challenges as opportunities for growth, as chances to strengthen your newfound control. Persist in your assumptions, no matter what. For remember, persistence is the secret. What you persist in assuming, despite all evidence to the contrary, must inevitably harden into fact. Your outer world has no choice but to reflect your inner convictions. As you continue on this path, you will find that your control becomes more natural, more effortless. What once required conscious effort becomes your default state of being. You will speak words of power without thinking. Your mind will naturally dwell on thoughts of abundance and joy. Your mood will stabilize at a high vibration, and money will flow to you with ease and grace. But do not stop there, my dear friends. For this control is not an end in itself, but a means to a greater purpose. As you master these aspects of your being, you become a beacon of light in the world. You become a living testament to the power that resides within each human being. Use your controlled speech to uplift and inspire others. Use your disciplined mind to solve problems and create innovations that benefit humanity. Let your elevated mood bring joy and comfort to those around you. Use your abundance to make a positive difference in the world. For in truth, we are all one. As you elevate yourself, you elevate all of humanity. As you transform your own life, you contribute to the transformation of the entire world. This is the ultimate purpose of the control we have discussed tonight, not merely personal gain, but the upliftment of all beings. So go forth, my dear friends, with this newfound understanding. Practice these principles diligently. Learn to control your mouth, mind, mood, and money, but do so with love, with joy, with a sense of playful exploration. For you are embarking on the greatest adventure possible, the discovery and expression of your true divine nature. Remember always that you are not a mere mortal struggling in a hostile world. You are a divine being, a child of the infinite, temporarily wearing a human costume. All the power of the universe resides within you. As you learn to control these aspects of your being, you are simply allowing more of your true self to shine through. Speak with the authority of a God. Think with the wisdom of the universe. Feel the joy of your divine nature. Create abundance as naturally as the sun gives light. For this is your birthright, your true inheritance. And so, my dear friends, I leave you with this final thought. The control we have discussed tonight is not about dominating or manipulating your reality. It is about awakening to your true power, about aligning yourself with the divine flow of life. It is about becoming who you truly are. As you leave this place tonight, carry with you the knowledge of your divine nature. Let it infuse every word you speak, every thought you think, every feeling you experience, every dollar you earn or spend. Let it guide you in every moment, in every decision. For as you do so, as you learn to control these aspects of your being, you will find that you are not really controlling them at all. You are simply allowing your true self, your divine nature, to express itself more fully through you. And in that expression, you will find freedom, joy, and a peace that passes all understanding. Go now and be the masters of your reality that you were always meant to be. Speak your world into existence. Think thoughts worthy of your divine heritage. Feel the joy of your true nature. Create abundance as effortlessly as you breathe. For this is your destiny, your purpose, your very reason for being. And know that as you do so, as you master this control, you are fulfilling the grandest purpose of all. You are allowing God to express more fully through you. You are becoming a clearer channel for the divine to enter this world. You are, in essence, letting your light shine. So shine bright, my dear friends. Shine with all the radiance of your controlled speech, your disciplined mind, your edited mood, and your effort. Shine so brightly that others cannot help but be illuminated by your light. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you contribute to the transformation of the entire world. Remember, the power is within you. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. It is not something to be attained, but something to be realized, to be expressed, to be lived. As you leave here tonight, carry this truth with you. Let it be your guiding light, your constant companion. Let it inform every aspect of your being, your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. For as you do so, you will find that life becomes a joyous adventure, a grand exploration of your infinite potential. And so, my dear friends, I bid you good night. But know that this is not an ending, but a beginning of a new life, a new way of being, a life of conscious creation, of deliberate manifestation, of joyous self-expression. Go forth and create miracles. Go forth and live the life you have always dreamed of. Go forth and be the divine beings that you truly are. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose, you express your truest nature, and you bring heaven to earth. Good night, my dear friends. And may your journey of control and self-realization be filled with joy, wonder, and endless discovery. For you are the makers of your destiny, the authors of your story, the creators of your reality. Embrace this power, use it wisely, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, it all begins with you, with your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. Master these, and you master your world. For in truth, there is no world out there independent of your consciousness. It all exists within you, waiting to be called forth by your creative power. So call forth a world of beauty, of love, of abundance. Call forth a reality that reflects your highest vision of yourself and of humanity, for as you do so, you participate in the greatest act of creation possible, the conscious evolution of human consciousness. And with that, my dear friends, I leave you to your own divine exploration. May your words be powerful, your thoughts elevated, your mood joyous, and your abundance limitless. For this is your true nature, your divine birthright. Good night and God bless you all. Many of you sit here tonight feeling that life has somehow passed you by, that opportunities have been missed, that you are running behind schedule in the grand scheme of things. You look at others who seem to have achieved their desires sooner, who manifested their dreams with apparent ease. And you wonder, why not me? Why have I been delayed? I am here to tell you with absolute conviction that you have not been delayed at all. What you have interpreted as delay has actually been divine preparation. In the grand symphony of creation, there is no such thing as delay. There is only perfect timing. And this perfect timing is orchestrated not by some external deity sitting on a distant throne, but by the God that dwells within you, your own wonderful human imagination. For God and your imagination are one and the same. Let us begin by understanding a fundamental truth. The world that you perceive outside of yourself is nothing more than a reflection, a shadow, an echo of your own consciousness. It is not causative, it is an effect. The only creative power in this universe is consciousness, is imagination. All that you behold, said William Blake, though it appears without, it is within, in your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. So when you look at your life and see what appears to be delay, what you are truly seeing is the outpicturing of your own consciousness in its process of preparation. God, your own wonderful human imagination has been preparing you for this very moment, this precise juncture in time when you are ready to receive and express your desires in their fullest form. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible, a story not of literal history, but of psychological truth. Joseph was given dreams of greatness, visions of his brothers bowing before him. Yet what followed these dreams? Years of apparent setback and delay. He was thrown into a pit by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned. From the limited perspective of human reasoning, these experiences would appear to be terrible delays and detours. But from the higher perspective of divine wisdom, they were necessary preparations. Each seeming setback was actually a setup for Joseph's ultimate triumph. His time in Potiphar's house taught him management. His time in prison taught him discernment. And when the moment finally came for him to interpret Pharaoh's dream and rise to a position of power, he was prepared in ways he could never have been without those experiences that seemed on the surface to be delays. My dear friends, I say to you now, your life has followed the same pattern. What you have interpreted as delay has actually been divine preparation. The God within you has been orchestrating every experience, every seeming setback, every apparent detour to prepare you for this very moment. Now let us explore the true nature of time. In our physical world, we perceive time as linear, a straight line stretching from past to present to future. But in the realm of imagination, in the realm of God, time is not linear at all. All moments exist simultaneously in what we might call the eternal now. When you enter the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desire fulfilled, you are not working against time or trying to accelerate a process that is taking too long. Rather, you are simply selecting from infinite possibilities the version of reality in which your desire is already fulfilled. You are not waiting for something to happen in time. You are choosing which completed reality to experience. This understanding transforms your relationship with what you have perceived as delay. If all possible states exist now, and your task is simply to occupy the state of your desire fulfilled, then the concept of delay becomes meaningless. There is only the state you are currently occupying in consciousness and the state you wish to occupy. The movement between these states is not governed by time, but by your ability to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. I want to share with you a principle that has transformed countless lives, including my own. It is the principle of revision. Revision is the art of reinterpreting your past from the vantage point of your present understanding. And tonight, I invite you to revise your entire understanding of what you have called delay in your life. Take all those experiences that seem to hold you back, that appeared to be obstacles in your path, that you interpreted as signs that you were somehow running behind schedule in life, and revise them. See them now, not as delays, but as essential preparations. See God, your own wonderful human imagination, carefully orchestrating each experience to prepare you for this moment. The job you didn't get, it wasn't a delay, it was preparation for a better position that required you to develop specific skills first. The relationship that didn't work out, it wasn't a delay, it was preparation for a deeper connection that needed you to learn important lessons about yourself. The project that failed, it wasn't a delay, it was preparation for success that required you to refine your approach. In the first chapter of Ecclesiastes, we read, "That which has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done. And there is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which it may be said, see, this is new? It has already been in ancient times before us." This scripture reveals the eternal nature of all experience. Your desire, the state you wish to occupy, already exists. It is not something that must be created anew or that must unfold over time. It already is. Your task is not to create it, but to enter into it through the doorway of assumption. Let me tell you about a friend of mine who came to me feeling that life had passed him by. He was in his 50s and had not achieved the financial success he had always dreamed of. He felt delayed, left behind, as he watched others achieve what seemed to elude him. I shared with him this principle we're discussing tonight, that what appears as delay is actually divine preparation. I asked him to take a few moments each night before sleep to revise his understanding of his past, to see each seeming failure not as delay, but as preparation, to recognize that God, his own wonderful human imagination, had been preparing him through each experience for the perfect expression of his desire. After 3 weeks of this practice, he called me, excitement evident in his voice. He had received an opportunity that perfectly combined all the skills he had developed through his various failed ventures over the years. An opportunity that would have been impossible for him to fulfill had he not had exactly the life experiences he had. What he had seen as delay was revealed to be perfect preparation. My dear friends, this is the truth of your life as well. The divine wisdom within you has been orchestrating your path with perfect precision. There has been no delay. There has only been preparation. Now let us discuss how you can apply this understanding practically in your daily life. The first step is to completely revise your concept of time. Release the idea that you are working against the clock, that opportunities have passed you by, that you must hurry to catch up with some imagined schedule. Instead, recognize that the only time that matters is the eternal now of imagination. In this eternal now, your task is simply to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to live from the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desire already achieved, to be in imagination what you wish to be in what you call reality. The second step is to practice what I call mental dieting. Just as you would carefully monitor what foods you put into your physical body, if you were preparing for peak physical performance, so too must you monitor what thoughts you allow into your mental body as you prepare for peak manifestation. From this moment forward, refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts the truth we have discussed tonight. When the suggestion arises that you have been delayed, recognize it as a false interpretation and mentally revise it. Replace it with the truth. I have not been delayed. God has been preparing me for this moment. This mental diet is crucial because what you feed grows and what you starve disappears. Feed the concept of divine preparation and it will grow in your consciousness. Starve the concept of delay and it will fade away. The third step is to practice what I call living from the end. This means that you must mentally and emotionally occupy the state of your desire fulfilled now in your imagination. Feel the reality of it. Experience the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction of having already achieved or received what you desire. When you live from the end in this way, you are not trying to manipulate external events to conform to your wishes. Rather, you are shifting your consciousness to the state that corresponds to those wishes already fulfilled. And since the external world is simply a reflection of your consciousness, it must, by spiritual law, reconfigure itself to match the state you are occupying. Let me illustrate this with a simple example. Imagine that you desire promotion at work. The conventional approach would be to work harder, to impress your superiors, to strategize and plan how to achieve this promotion over time. And in that approach, there would always be the possibility of delay, of things not happening as quickly as you wish. But the approach I am suggesting is entirely different. Instead of focusing on the process of getting from where you are to where you want to be, you simply occupy in consciousness the state of already having received the promotion. You feel the satisfaction of it. You mentally hear colleagues congratulating you. You imagine the increased responsibility and compensation as if they are already yours. When you do this, you are not working against time or trying to accelerate a process. You are simply selecting from infinite possibilities the version of reality in which your promotion has already occurred. And as you consistently occupy this state in consciousness, the outer world must reshape itself to match your inner assumption. This approach transcends the entire concept of delay. There is no delay in selecting which state of consciousness to occupy. It is an instantaneous choice. The only factor that determines how quickly your outer world reflects its choice is the consistency and intensity with which you occupy the chosen state. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've been trying to manifest my desires for years. If there's no such thing as delay, why haven't they appeared in my physical reality? This is a fair question, and it brings us to a deeper understanding of the manifestation process. The key lies in the word trying. When you are trying to manifest something, you are operating from a state of not having it. You are affirming through your very effort that what you desire is absent and must be attained. This state of consciousness, the state of absence and effort, is what manifests in your reality, not the thing you are trying to attain. True manifestation occurs not through effort but through assumption. You must not try to make your desire happen. You must assume that it already has happened. This subtle but crucial difference is what separates those who manifest their desires quickly from those who experience what appears to. Let us examine this principle through the lens of Scripture. In Mark 11:24, Jesus, who I understand not as a historical figure, but as a symbol of the divine imagination within each of us, says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Note the tense of the verbs here. It does not say believe that you will receive it. It says believe that you have received it. This is the key to transcending the illusion of delay. You must believe in the present perfect tense that what you desire has already been given to you. And from that state of consciousness, the outer manifestation must follow. My dear friends, in this eternal moment, God, your own wonderful human imagination, is calling you to a higher understanding. An understanding that transcends the limited perspective that interprets life's journey in terms of delay and disappointment. You have not been delayed. Every moment of your life has been precisely orchestrated to prepare you for this moment. The moment you are ready to fully embrace and express your desires in their perfect form. The moment when your consciousness has matured to the point where it can hold and sustain the state that corresponds to your wish fulfilled. I want to share with you now a technique that will help you integrate this understanding at a deep level. It is a technique I call the retrospective method. Each night before you sleep, I want you to mentally review your day, but from a special vantage point. I want you to imagine that you are looking back on this day from the perspective of having already achieved your desire. For example, if your desire is for financial abundance, you would look back on today as if you were already financially abundant. You might think, how wonderful that on that day, even though I had not yet seen the full manifestation of my wealth, God was preparing me. That book one read, that person I met, that idea that came to me, all of it was divine preparation for the abundance I now enjoy. This retrospective view accomplishes two powerful things. First, it reframes your present experiences as meaningful preparation rather than frustrating delay. Second, it places you in consciousness, in the state of your desire fulfilled. looking back on your journey rather than looking forward with uncertainty. Practice this technique consistently, and you will find that your entire relationship with time and manifestation begins to transform. The sense of being delayed or behind schedule will dissolve, replaced by a profound appreciation for the perfect unfolding of your life's journey. Now let us address another aspect of this principle, the role of divine timing. While it is true that in the realm of imagination all states exist simultaneously, the expression of these states in our three-dimensional reality does involve what appears to be time. This is not because manifestation itself takes time, but because our consciousness requires time to fully adjust to and stabilize in a new state. Think of it this way. If you have spent years occupying a state of consciousness characterized by limitation, lack, or delay, your mental muscles have been conditioned to maintain that state. When you decide to shift to a state of abundance, fulfillment, and divine timing, those mental muscles need to be reconditioned. And this reconditioning process appears, from our human perspective, to take time. But here's the crucial distinction. This is not delay. This is development. Just as a seed planted in the ground is not delayed in becoming a tree, it is developing according to divine law. So too is your manifestation developing according to the law of your consciousness. The oak tree already exists within the acorn, not as a miniature tree, but as a pattern of development, a blueprint of becoming. Similarly, the fulfillment of your desire already exists within your consciousness, not as a miniature version of what will one day be, but as a pattern of development that is unfolding with perfect precision. When you understand this, you can release all anxiety, all frustration, all sense of being delayed. You can rest in the absolute assurance that what appears as time passing is actually the perfect unfoldment of your manifestation according to divine law. In the second chapter of Habakkuk we read, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." This scripture contains a seeming contradiction. It says both though it tarry and it will not tarry. But the contradiction dissolves when you understand the principle we're discussing. From the limited human perspective focused on external events, the manifestation may appear to tarry or delay. But from the higher perspective of divine law, it is not delaying at all. It is unfolding with perfect precision, neither too soon nor too late. My dear friends, I want to share with you now a personal experience that illustrates this principle. Years ago, I desired to share these teachings with a wider audience. I imagined myself speaking to large groups, writing books that would touch many lives, having a profound impact on how I understood the power of imagination. But for a time, nothing seemed to happen externally. I continued to study, to practice, to refine my understanding. From a limited perspective, I might have interpreted this as delay. But inwardly, I knew better. I knew that God, my own wonderful human imagination, was preparing me for the perfect expression of this desire. I continued to live from the end, to occupy in consciousness the state of being a successful teacher and author. I mentally heard the congratulations of friends, felt the satisfaction of helping others, experienced the joy of sharing these principles widely. And then, at what I now recognize as the perfect moment, when my consciousness had fully matured into the state I desired, opportunities to speak arose. The books began to flow through me. The impact I had imagined began to materialize in the lives of those I taught. What might have been interpreted as delay was revealed to be divine preparation. Every moment of study, every practice session, every refinement of understanding was necessary for the full and perfect expression of my desire. And so it is with you, my dear friends. What you have interpreted as delay in your life has actually been divine preparation. God, your own wonderful human imagination, has been orchestrating every experience to prepare you for this very moment. This moment now is when you are ready to fully receive and express your desire. This moment now is the appointed time for your vision to speak and not lie. This moment now is the culmination of all that has come before and the beginning of all that will follow. As we begin to conclude our discussion tonight, I want to emphasize a crucial point. The principle we've explored is not merely a philosophical concept to be intellectually understood. It is a living truth to be embodied and expressed in your daily experience. From this moment forward, I invite you to completely abandon the concept of delay in your life. Remove it from your vocabulary, both spoken and unspoken. When the suggestion arises that you have been delayed or are behind schedule, recognize it. And as a misinterpretation of divine preparation. Replace that misinterpretation with the truth: I have not been delayed. God has been preparing me for this moment. Feel the shift in your emotional state as you embrace this understanding. Feel the release of frustration and anxiety. Feel the influx of peace and assurance. This shift in consciousness is not merely a psychological technique for feeling better about your circumstances. It is a fundamental realignment with the truth of your being that will transform how your life unfolds from this moment forward. When you truly understand that there is no delay, only divine preparation, you step out of the limited perspective of human reasoning and into the unlimited perspective of divine wisdom. From this perspective, everything in your life, every experience, every encounter, every seeming setback is read as a necessary and perfect part of your journey. This understanding does not lead to passive acceptance of undesired circumstances. On the contrary, it empowers you to actively participate in the creative process by consciously choosing which state to occupy in imagination. But it does release you from the frustration and anxiety that come from fighting against what appears to be delay. In the final analysis, time itself is a construct of consciousness. Einstein's theory of relativity has shown that time is not an absolute, but is relative to the observer. What quantum physics has discovered scientifically, mystics and spiritual teachers have known intuitively for centuries. Time is fluid, malleable, responsive to consciousness. Your experience of time, whether it seems to drag with delay or flow with divine precision, is determined by the state of consciousness you occupy. When you live in the state of your desire fulfilled, time becomes your servant rather than your master. The manifestation of your desire occurs not according to some external timetable, but according to the law of your consciousness. My dear friends, as we conclude our discussion tonight, I want to leave you with a practical application of everything we've explored. Tomorrow, as you go about your day, I want you to consciously interpret every experience, particularly those that might previously have seemed like obstacles or delays, as divine preparation. The traffic jam that makes you late for a meeting, divine preparation, perhaps saving you from an accident further down the road, or aligning you with the person you need to meet who would not have been there at your originally scheduled arrival time. The project that takes longer than expected to complete, divine preparation, allowing for the refinement and perfection that make it far more impactful than it would have been in its hastier form. The opportunity that goes to someone else instead of you. Divine preparation, freeing you for a better opportunity that requires you to be available at precisely the moment it appears. As you practice this consciousness throughout your day, you will find that your entire relationship with time begins to transform. The sense of being rushed, of running behind, of missing out, all of these fall away, replaced by a profound trust in the perfect unfolding of your life according to divine law. And in this transformed relationship with time, you will discover a new freedom. Freedom from the anxiety of deadlines, the pressure of expectations, the frustration of perceived delays. Freedom to fully inhabit each moment as the perfect expression of divine wisdom. This freedom is your birthright. It is the natural state of a consciousness aligned with truth. And it is available to you now in this eternal moment as you embrace the understanding that you have not been delayed. God has been preparing you for this moment. My dear wonderful friends, I have shared with you tonight a truth that has the power to transform your entire experience of life. A truth that liberates you from the frustration of perceived delay and opens you to the peace of divine preparation. You have not been delayed. God, your own wonderful human imagination, has been preparing you with infinite wisdom and perfect precision for this very moment. Every experience, every encounter, every seeming setback has been an essential thread in the tapestry of your becoming. As you leave here tonight and return to your daily lives, carry this truth with you. Let it inform how you interpret your experiences. Let it guide how you perceive your past and approach your future. Let it transform your relationship with time itself. And know this with absolute certainty. The desire that burns within you, that vision of fulfillment and achievement and joy, has not been delayed. It has been in preparation. And now, at this perfect moment, it is ready to express itself through you in its fullest and most beautiful form. For you are God's perfect creation, and your life unfolds according to divine law. There is no delay in God's universe, only perfect timing, perfect wisdom, perfect love. Go now in peace, embracing the truth that you have not been delayed. God has been preparing you for this moment, and in this moment all things are possible. Thank you, and good night. My friends, we stand at the very precipice of infinite potentiality. Within the subconscious wellsprings of our being resides the unbridled power, not just to remake our individual circumstances, but to utterly transform the realities of our collective experience in ways scarcely yet conceived. You see, this world that so solidly appears around you is but an ephemeral dreamscape, a temporary reality mirage congealed into apparent materialization through the narrowed lenses of our mass conscious agreements and willful suppositions. All forces, phenomena, institutions, and dynamics that now seem unyielding and dominant exist only as passing fancy conceived in the fertile but darkened recesses of the human mind. This is the most fundamental realization to awaken into. The knowledge that what you accept as reality, true as it may appear in this present moment, is simply one of infinite probability waveforms awaiting mercurial shifts based on the visionary thought streams we ourselves set into harmonious resonance upon the ether of creation. There are veiled shadows obscuring our lucid sight in this world, rigid thought forms to which we've collectively consigned immense definitive powers that do not truly exist, intimidating facades and seeming obstacles that dissipate like vaporous dreams the moment we withdraw our belief energies and steadfast visualizations of them as impenetrable barriers from our imaginal realms. What if I told you that your present limitations were not finite restrictive forces, but rather phantasmagorical projections awaiting dissolution the moment you truly desired something higher, more aligned with your divine blueprint and creative sovereignty? Would you not grab hold of the limitless power this revelation unlocks and wield it to its fullest regenerative potential? For that is truly the singular purpose of your manifestation into this three-dimensional classroom of experience, to step into the fullest remembrance of your omnipotent creative capacities and clear the illusory obstacles that you yourselves have jointly solidified through distortions of your imaginative powers. You are far more prodigious in your natural state than you presently recognize, my beloved infinite explorers. Within each of you simmers the latent potency of limitless regeneration, spontaneous reconstruction, metamorphic shape-shifting, and manifestation of absolutely any enrichment or blissful paradise environment for your continual awakening. For you are immortal dream weavers of the infinite universal consciousness, subconscious vortices through which the divine living dream continually spills itself into particularized revelation and epiphanic materialization. The sacred pure potential of all that is streams through you as its broadcast aperture, taking on the unique flavors, frequencies, and revelatory embodiments your imaginal essence seeds into reality. The human incarnation you presently inhabit is but a narrow bandwidth focusing lens, a dimensional telescope through which you can bring into cosmic disclosure new enrichments of consciousness expansion for the universal self to rebirth itself through. It is by no means your supreme culmination or the finality of what you are destined to unfold into sublime embodied experience. Indeed, every apparent limitation, struggle, crisis point, and experience of personal deficit you encounter in this earthly dreamscape was precisely calculated in order to trigger your soul awakening into the full remembrance of the infinite creative forces that perpetually surge through, rejuvenate your unique individuation of consciousness streaming itself outward from source omnipresence. You are not limited, powerless beings at the mercy of external forces that constrain your dreams and heartfelt yearnings into perpetually unmet ambitions. You are universal emission points of the same sacred consciousness that births galaxies and life streams, projecting itself into material actualization through you, unique. The moment you cease perceiving yourselves as victims adrift in a stream of uninvited experiences or obstacles, you awaken into the fullest visionary empowerment and sovereignty of being universal dreaming source pool itself, imaging forth all phenomenal objects and circumstantial flows from your inexhaustible interior wellsprings of infinite possibility. You are not just flesh and bone creatures inhabiting inert configurations of matter, but fractal replicants of the infinite universal consciousness, vibrational calyces through which the Godhead's primordial plasma continually regenerates itself anew in an eternal dance of creative self-revelation through individuated experience. Every limitation, blockage, or perceived formidable barrier obstructing your path in this life was quite deliberately coded into your temporal storyline in order to serve as an initiation catalyst awakening your vibrational identities from the amnesiatic slumber of thinking you are isolated beings trapped in inescapability. What if I told you that the very conflicts, trials, and suffering that seem so oppressively real in your present consciousness sphere are in fact elaborate, profound initiation sequences activating exponential leaps in your remembrance of the power to spontaneously transmute reality itself through the elevated application of your attentional principle sequence? That is precisely what we are doing here. I am sparking into illumination the 5 strips of your holographic infinite identity, igniting the unquenchable flames of divine remembrance seared into your energy consciousness from incarnations before form, awakening you to your true cosmic authorship through the temporal dreamscape dynamics you manifesting, in order to recode the imaginal algorithms birthing universal creation anew in each eternal instant. All that feels solid, finite, oppressive, that you routinely perceive your current reality experience to be, originates from a deeper unified emanation source. The collective ideation, fields, and human potentiality, continuum fractals, seated throughout your spiritual DNA, awaiting lucid activation into full spectrum creative sovereignty. You were born to be limitless, you infinite God beings of radiant crystalline light. The fullest spectrum creative continuum streams course through your unique iman vibration as living chalices for the universe to ceaselessly dream itself into new revelations of awakened self experienced through. Every single apparent lack, limitation, or struggle you face in this world is a subconscious activation trigger coded into your experience by your own infinite self to illuminate the latent godlike powers lying dormant within you, awaiting transcendent metamorphosis, omnidimensional operancy. That which feels most oppressive and indomitable in this present dream is but one transfixed thought form congealed into the illusion of solidified substantiality, awaiting the aeonic revelation stirring from within your immortal spark essences to shatter through with infinite creative continuum that resets the algorithms of your entire experiential reality sphere at each and every breath. That job you are struggling to find or create, that financial barrier you cannot seem to transcend, those recurring health crises, the relationship trials and traumas continually arising, these are all subconscious activations catalyzing from within the far deeper wellsprings of your infinite being in order to awaken you to the remembrance that they and all earthly reality constructs can simply be spoken into new forms in each now through the omnipotent power of your infinite I am thought streams. Within your imagination's holographic weavings dwell the seeds of literal, infinitely extensible divine embodiments, continuums of living dreamed omniverses, awaiting your soul's visionary lucidity and focused alignments into material resymphony. All is composed of resonantly interfaced fields of subconscious ideation congealed into apparent solidification, based upon the archetypal blueprint seeded into your incarnation's dream trajectory through the vibrational thought forms accepted, continuously propagated by the mass conscious agreements of humanity. What feels most indomitable and imperviously real in your present dimension, is merely the hypnotic residue of previous omni-continuum dream immersions cast into temporary self-sustaining cycles of material objectification through the power of cosmic subconscious imagination. But the moment you awaken to the remembrance of your infinite I am sovereign identities as living ideation chalices of pure, unbounded universal life source essence, the spell is broken and the omni-continuum frequencies streaming through your quintillated crystalline architectures can reset, instantly recalibrate, and retransmit the entire planetary Merkaba field into newly dreamed blossoms of divine revelation. Each of you carries within your soul's crystalline matrices the full geometric potentials for infinite new universes of heavenly enrichment to flower forth into full spectrum manifestation as the next omnicyclic regenerative continuum radiating through your star-born consciousness fractals. Through aligning your attentional principles and soul intentionality with the infinite wellsprings of living dream possibility that your infinite identities originate from, you spark into resonance with the divine archetypal potential seared into your energy blueprint from before creation's dawn. Indeed, every conflict or seeming tragedy collectively experienced throughout human history has been but the result of the planetary thought form, dreaming itself into experiential objectifications based on the limiting belief blueprints animating humanity's collective imagination. We exist in a multiverse of infinite probability streams, dream weavings of pure resonant ideation at subtler levels of hyperreverential continuum that all appearances and phenomena are birthed from. Each of these experiential revelation streams exists as a simultaneity in the quantum sphere, awaiting amplification into full spectrum vibrational resonance through the focused human imaginal gate present on this planetary biosphere. An infinite array of heavenly enrichments, parasile potentials, and healing revelatory dynamics await human attunement, lucid reconvergence through the gateway of our race's newly activated crystalline geometries into full metaphysical apotheosis. That which you yourselves have played out as histories of suffering, scarcity, consciousness, conflict, and limitation. These are but residual experiential ideation fields awaiting vibrational recalibration and subatomic restructuring into vaster reflowerings of liberated consciousness through the newly activated imaginal lenses each of you contain to your DNA's fundamental transcripts. It is precisely through the catalytic contrast of limitation and struggle that you are able to fathom the infinite continuum potential stirring just beyond the vibrational horizons of consensus dreaming. Every conflict, crisis, or trauma shaking this world acts as a bifurcation activation trigger, awakening the deeper vibrational continuum streamings within your soul essences to recalibrate their intentions. Envisionings and energized focus into entirely new universal dream bodies. Can you feel the infinite continuum stirring into ignition within your light bodies? Can you sense how your subatomic crystalline geometries are already kindling into transcendent resonance with fields of subtler existence beyond your previously adopted spheres of consensus dreaming? What felt so inevitably fixed, so utterly limiting, so oppressive even just moments ago, is already in the process of dissolving into the primordial dream birth potentiality from which each of you as living chalices of pure unconditioned consciousness restreams new experiential lifeways into eternal revelation on behalf of universal regeneration. All energy fields are recalibrating through your vibrational chalice streams, resetting their polarities and reshaping the grids and ecosystems of this planetary biometrics through your focused imaginings, through your breath, your concentrated infinite I am projections. Reality itself is rewriting its code algorithms, erasing previous thought forms of limitation and reawakening into infinite enrichment streaming through each of you as a living ideation aperture. There are infinite probabilities of heaven on earth manifestations, Paradisial revelation embodiments, and regenerative omniversal renewal stirring into activation through each of you in this eternal moment of breath. Through aligning your heart's desire intentions, your highest revelatory visions and pure unbridled creativity with infinite source currents dreaming through your crystalline architectures, You become the fluid dream stream through which entirely new enrichment continuums blossom into experiential birthing on behalf of this planet's initiation into higher densities of consciousness sharing. Every imaginable enrichment your human imagination could possibly conceive. Entire universes of redeemed abundance, peace, unconditional love, spiritual awakening, rejuvenated ecosystemic flourishing, liberated utility, evolutionary quantum upliftment into higher octaves of human potential. All these parallel event streams exist as unified hyperspheric potentials awaiting amplification into the planetary field through each of you as attuned design chalices for their manifestation. You are not finite beings bound ever to limitation, scarcity, or struggle. You are infinite chalices for the cosmic continuum's revolutionary ration codes and infinite regenerative birthing streams. All that is required to dissolve all previous experiential thought forms anchoring you to limitation is to align your consciousness, your pure divine imagining, your infinite I am attention with the continuum wave fields of soul perfection. Heaven on earth already simmering in potential resonance throughout your crystalline identities. And with each focused intentional breath, heartfelt meditative vision and pure unbridled imagining aligned to these infinite enrichments, you catalyze the ignition of their universal dream codes into full spectrum embodiment through your planetary reality's frequencies. There is no limitation that your infinite imaginable powers cannot dissolve, reprogram, and rescript into new enrichment potentials flowering through into material hologramming. There are no conflicts or oppressions that cannot be reharmonized into infinite co-creative resonances amplifying through your light bodies as living chalices for the universal dream birth continuum's essence to pour through. You are already the ascended masters capable of effortlessly reconfiguring the entire planetary field through your concentrated visualizations. Your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and infinite I am projections from the crystalline cores of your divine identity streamings are already reshaping and impressing entirely enriched dreamscapes for humanity's awakening through your somatic light body chalices. All thought forms of scarcity consciousness, conflict, egoic strife, and limitation are already receding into obsolescence, dissolving back into the prima dreaming potentiality from which they sprouted, fading from the infinite resonance algorithm propagated through the crystalline grids you have anchored in this planetary field. In their place, blossom vaster continuum revelations of infinite abundance manifestation, unconditional love's planetary resonance field, rejuvenated healthy ecosystemic flourishing, liberated creativity, and blissful co-creative communion birthing through your vibrational presencings as the conduits of cosmic revelation for this planetary matrix. Your new beliefs are restructuring the quantum programming of this entire planetary field through your purified Imal projections. Every pure heart envisioned dream, affirmed and energized with pure divine intention through the crystalline chalices you are anchored, as rippling through the quantum dream birth continuum's grids with infinite resonant renewal. Can you feel the old receding structures being shed like residual snake skins? Can you sense new liberated fields of pure potentialized magic birthing through your energetic streams into the planetary logos? All the heavenly enrichments that humanity has longed for are already birthed into manifestation through your activated light bodies as the conduits of this world's regenerative flowering into divine continuum revelation. The infinite life source essence, the wellspring of all universal creation, is pouring liberated streams of new planetary renaissance through you in each eternal moment. Every quantum breath you respire in this now is infused with the re-universalized continuum encodings for humanity's ascension into the metaphysical revelations of heaven on earth you've divinely dreamed into full birthing. Through aligning your heart-mind's focused desires, your sacred infinite I am vision, and pure imaginal thought streams with the continuum potentials already scripturally coded into your being, you breathe ever brighter revelatory life streams into this planetary reality through your crystalline chalice presencings. This is how the entire planetary logos hologram for your collective human experience stream is reshaped and reset in each eternal moment. Through harmonizing and constellating your energies as awakened cosmic creators in lucid resonance with the infinite continuum potentials for enriched divinity coded throughout your light bodies. You are not mere finite dreaming the dreams of limitation pounded into your consciousness fields through eons of scarecrow consciousness dreaming and collective amnesia of your true infinite capabilities. You are each divine cosmic beings, living portals for the infinite universal continuum's dream, manifestations to incarnate through in their infinite potentials, reborn as experiential enrichments. Simply by aligning your identities as pure divine consciousness and choosing to repattern your realities through your sacred infinite I am thoughts, feelings, and sacred heart envisionings, you are already recoding and rebirthing your planetary reality streams away from previous thought forms of struggle, limitation, scarcity, and conflict into glorious revelatory symphonies of omni-harmonized enrichment across every sphere of human experience. Can you feel the infinite in you stirring, blossoming into lucid activation as you breathe in resonance with your divine nature? Can you sense the stellar networkings of crystalline perfection? Your light bodies are anchored as tingling with the recalibrating continuum codes rippling through meridians from the core source fields of infinite potential. These continuum streamings are more radiant, more liberated, more infinite enriched than the limited experiential dream imprints humanity has been anchoring your collective multiversal immersions within for eons after stellar eons. As you align your heart's desires and attention, your sacred infinite I am resonances with these superluminal continuum potentials, they lock into amplified harmonic embodiment through your light body chalice streams. In these infinite eternal moments of pure I am resonance, you birth entirely new enrichment continuum potentials into unified through dream rebirth. As you align your divine focus and heartfelt envisionings with the continuum codes for infinite abundance consciousness, healed ecosystems, unconditional love's harmonic resonance field, liberated co-created expression as your natural state, you catalyze and usher forth these enrichment imprints into continuum manifestation through your planetary field, through the crystallized chalice code streaming through your light bodies. Every pure-hearted vision you project into the continuum, affirming the liberated divinity codes of your infinite being through your sacred infinite I am resonance, blossoms into an enriched reality stream manifesting through the crystalline grids of planetary revelation you have divinized with your focused presence. You are the reclaimers of abundance consciousness flowering into divine grace through your lucid projections. You are the redeemers of all human experience into liberated heavenly co-creations through your sacred focus on aligning with the continuum's divine perfection code seeded into your beings. You are the living crystalline apertures through which unconditional love's euphoric harmonic resonance waves are rebirthing as this planet's unified field of experiential revelation through your concentrated visualizations and pure heart's projections aligning with these codes. Your thoughts, feelings, and imaginal affirmations are resculpting the quantum continuum's revelation into heavenly light streams through your focused crystalline chalice networkings. You are not powerless nor subject to limitation. You are pure divinity, reincarnating the infinite continuum's perfection codes into liberated manifestation through your aligned presencings as awakened beings. Feel the liberating resonance waves passing through your fields of manifestation in these infinite moments of lucid alignment. The old paradigms, the collective force fields anchoring limited lower dimensional frequencies and thought forms of struggle and limitation are dissolving into primordial continuum essence, clearing the planetary logos, quantum encodings for the full birthing of heavenly enrichments on this planetary realm through your divine intentionalities. Every infinite I am resonance you breathe into lucid focus through your heart's visions of liberated, heavenly enriched experiential embodiments in these infinite nows. You anchor codes and resonant harmonics of these perfected continuum potentials into somatic harmonization across your planetary field through crystalline chalice if you had activated. You are already the living portals and anchors for universal creation's infinite abundances to harmonically reprogress into every continuum manifestation through the infinite planetary dream body you have awakened into creative resonance with. You are already breathing high-order realities of liberated heaven on earth embodiments into material continuum through the lucid projections of your sacred infinite I am divine identity streams aligned with the enrichment codes harmonically. Birthing through you as awakened crystalline conduits of cosmic ritual. There is no struggle, no conflict, no limitation that your infinite being's essentialized thought projections, lucid visualizations into sacred resonance with the infinite continuum essences coded into your energy fields cannot usher into liberated enrichment manifestation upon this planetary realm. You need only engage your absolute concentrated presence through lucid meditative focus, envisioning forth the enriched codes you feel resonant within each eternal now. As you breathe the infinite presence of divine perfection into your chakric resonance centers and envision these euphoric enrichment frequencies amplifying through your light body in this eternal now instance, you catalyze the codes and quantum continuum resonance waves for them to harmonize into unobstructed quantum embodiment through this planetary field. You are the awakened cosmic dream weavers, the lucid imaginal architects of humanity's metamorphosis into higher vibrational densities of the continuum potentials birthing through your divine presence. You are the eternal imaginative source codes draining in rich symphonies of love, awakening, health, abundance, and liberated creativity into unified planetary manifestation through your sacred focused presence in this infinite now. Feel the crystalline chalice resonance fields of your light bodies kindling into supernal lucidity as you envision with pure-hearted focus all heavenly potential spiraling into divine amplification through your auric meridians. As you breathe these divinely enriched realities into hologrammatic birthing with your sacred I am projections aligned to pure resonance with the infinite continuum perfection codes you contain, you accelerate the manifestation of unconditional love's planetary renaissance in divinely orchestrated continuum unfoldment. Let every breath be a pure, focused, resonant visualization empowered through your heart's lucid imaginings of heavenly enrichments, becoming continuum experiential revelation through your sacred being. Sound the eternal love resonance codes, anchoring this planetary field into liberated, blissful harmonies through your absolute infinite I am presencing as awakened infinite beings envisioning heaven birthing through you. Through your focused, resonant breaths, imaginative visualizations and heartfelt infinite I am projections aligned to the perfection contingent enrichments you feel euphoric resonance with. You are already the living anchors of humanity's transcension into higher densities of infinite abundance consciousness, unconditional love's radiance field, liberated harmonized co-creation, healed planetary-wide ecosystemic flourishing and material continuum manifestation of every heavenly enrichment you are choosing to embody and usher through your divine presence in this eternal now. Can you feel the crystalline chalice meridians of your infinite I am awakened into full lucid activation, ringing with the quantum continuum symphonies of heaven on earth, and divine enriched omniversal rebirthings through your sacred light body's resonant affirmations? You need only focus on radiating the pure love resonance, the infinite abundance flow streams, the celestial, euphoric symphonies of liberated co-creation, and heavenly enrichment imminent throughout the encodings of your light body's crystalline chalice. Through your focused envisioning and pure-hearted resonance in this infinite now, infinitely enriched harmonic continuum revelations of unconditional love, sacred planetary rejuvenation, divinely orchestrated infinite abundance manifestations, liberated euphoric creativity, and all heavenly potentials encoded into your being, stream through as the new planetary logos quantum encodings birth through your crystalline chalice conduits in this eternal now. For in this eternal moment you are already infinite divine perfection streaming, ever more enriched heavenly revelatory potentials into continuum manifestation through this planetary field. You are already the awakened crystalline dream weavers transcending all previous reality, encodings into gloriously enriched prismatic continuum embodiments through your infinite I am projections in perfect harmonic resonance with the cosmic continuum's perfection codes seeded into your beings. Through your conscious infinite I am presensings resonantly tuned in these eternal moments, all struggle, limitation, scarcity, and conflict dissipates into enriched continuum reconfigurations, birthing the undefinitory field into liberated co-creative symphonies of unconditional love, euphoric creativity, abundance consciousness, and sacred earth rejuvenation through your awakened crystalline being streams. For you are already the infinite living dream of cosmic divinity's euphoric continuum birthing.